I mean, we should maybe shoot something. Just like at the beginning. Put something right at the beginning.
Yeah, don't go see this movie. Don't see this movie.
Warning.
If you want to hear us talk trash about the movie, continue on.
Yeah, I mean, you want to hear a little bit about it? Listen to us. But beyond that, warning, do not watch this film.
Yeah, this movie review really should have been 1 minute long. We just finished watching The Green Knight.
It's a movie.
That's what I heard.
That's what I'm told. I was there for 2.5 hours-ish. It's a movie.
I'm not sure if it was a movie as much as it might have been torture.
So a couple quick hits. This was directed by David Lowery. It stars Dev Patel as Sir Gawain and Alicia Vikander as his love interest. She also plays another character in the film. I had to do a little bit of background on this one. So I think we'll talk about this and we'll give my kind of two-sided thing because I think I had two feelings about it, but this is adapted from a very famous poem that I guess all English majors study called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which is a kind of post-King Arthur English poem.
Right, wasn't it the poem was written anonymously?
Yes, correct. And then they do kind of cite that in the movie at a point.
Well, thank goodness, because I'd be pissed at whoever wrote this movie. I have to, like you said,
please,
you had two feelings about the movie. I did too. The first one is, I thought the movie was visually beautiful.
Yes,
right?
110%.
It is one of those movies that you have at like a super chic hotel just playing in the background with no audio.
Which there kind of is.
Right, there's very little dialogue. And then two, the rest of the movie was shit.
Yeah.
This is the worst. I think it's fantastic. A year and a half ago, Spencer and I said, hey, we got a brilliant idea. Let's start doing movie reviews.
Right.
We came here to Showplace Icon, and we saw the worst movie we had ever probably seen to that date, which was Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah, not the one starring Hawkeye.
No.
I can't remember. Jeremy
Hansel
Renner. Not Jeremy Renner version. This was like the pseudo horror version.
Yeah. No, that was a horrible movie.
That was a bad movie.
But it looked beautiful. This movie, equally bad, but it looked beautiful. I wish after the first 20 minutes that we had just left, because I could have done the movie review at that point. This is hands down the worst movie I have seen in the entire pandemic.
So I'm on call this evening.
I wish you had gotten called.
It's really funny, so I'm sitting there and I'm like waiting for my pager to go off, and in my mind I'm like, is the pager gonna go off? Because like it wouldn't be that bad if I just got called
Before we went to see this movie, I was actually in mediation with my lawyer and our homeowners association, and I had a better time doing that than watching this movie. That's the truth.
Okay, so I'll give my opinion in a moment, but just tell a little bit about the story. So, I mean, trying to make sense of what is a very ambiguous tale. So this kind of follows the character of Sir Gawain, played by, and I'm probably butchering that name, but played by Dev Patel, who is kind of he's like pseudo-royalty. King Arthur is his father, and you don't know that it's King Arthur, but the king is sorry, not his father. The king is his uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
His mother has him, and he's never really been a part of royalty, and so he kind of leads this just like charmed-ish life. He gets drunk, he fucks whores, or whatever, common women. It seems like a whorehouse in the beginning, so I mean.
She was dressed kind of nice in later aspects of the movie, but
that's true. But in the beginning, like it seems like he's in kind of this like, I don't know. It seemed like there's a lot of naked women and whatever. Anyways, so he just kind of leads his charm life, but he's never really done anything. And he, one day, during a Christmas festivity celebration, his mom kind of takes part in this ritual to summon the Green Knight. We don't know why. It kind of makes no sense at the time why she would do this, but the Green Knight, comes to the king's court and issues a challenge and says, if any knight will come and accept my challenge, whoever so can strike me down, will earn my axe and my honor and royalty or whatever for a year, and then you must come to me, and whatever blow you deliver unto me, I will deliver unto you. And so, I mean, there's kind of some interesting things there, like you could choose how to go about delivering the blow, and I won't give away too much more than that.
I think the trailer...
Yeah, it kind of gives...
I honestly think this movie could have been trailer length and been amazing versus 2.5 hours. It should have been 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so he...
I can't believe you've told this much about the movie on a movie that was the most ratchet thing I've seen.
To finish explaining, so Dev Patel kind of undertakes this challenge. He strikes down the Green Knight, and then he has a year, which kind of wastes away. Doesn't really do anything about it.
He doesn't do anything.
He doesn't prepare anything, and he kind of just goes back to his normal life, like, okay, that was weird, whatever. And then the time comes, and he undertakes this epic journey. Now, to kind of go to like the discussion thereof, I agree with you. I think that if you're going to watch this movie, you're watching it for the cinematography. It was gorgeous. The
really
shots,
beautiful.
the ethereal kind of chanting and music that they have. Costume design, location shoots. I just like great, amazing nature.
The camera movement.
Yes, the camera movement was awesome. There's a lot of stunning
there
things.
Had been no audio.
It could have been a silent film. I agree with you. So there's,
It was almost silent.
It is. There is. I mean, for 2.5 hours, there's probably 30 minutes of talking. You probably have like 2 hours of like
even less.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few monologues here and there. Overall, so my two minds about it. I agree with you. My initial reaction was very stunned and confused. I enjoyed aspects of the movie, but I felt like there was just so much that I didn't understand that I felt like there was mysteries to be unraveled, but I was given so little information, and without that literary background, which I don't have, I was just left not understanding anything. And for that reason, I agree with you. I think it was
trash,
pretty bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it. And you can dig into it, and there's like
cool.
It did.
The trailer.
The trailer was awesome.
Yeah. Which is basically what I just said. The movie should have been trailer length.
Right, or like just expounded more on that I don't know, like
this is what you hope if you're a film student and you're going to make an art piece and you come up with this amazing idea and inspiration and then you go and shoot this beautiful cinematic film.
Right.
That has its lacking areas. This isn't something that you shoot and then release in major theaters across the country. This movie was trash.
I do feel a little misled. I mean, because it does lead you to believe one thing, and I will say it was an epic tale. So what it kind of reminded me of is what Beowulf tried to be many years ago, but some of those like epic poems of like the Iliad, the Odyssey, it kind of was reminiscent of that, where you follow this epic journey, but it felt like there were just so many questions. There's a fox that leads him. Eventually the fox talks.
Yeah.
You don't understand why. And
this is still not enough to know about. I mean, you have an impression about why the mom is doing whatever to raise the...
So what do you think? Why? I'm curious.
Maybe
does she want him to be...
as an opportunity for him to become king, right?
So, and I mean...
But wouldn't he have become king no matter what?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if the king had no other heir, then like logically he's like the blood relative, therefore he probably would. So like, is it necessary for her to do this? I don't know. So, okay, the other side of it. So I'm gonna agree with Jeremy. I think this movie's pretty bad if you don't have a literary background and you don't understand like the kind of story thereof. But if you're super into symbolism, if you really love digging at things and you enjoy pondering it, I think that there's actually quite a bit for you here.
Even if you enjoy seeing a movie just blasted out of your mind, this would be a great movie to watch. It actually reminded me of...
I was on shrooms.
Don't people watch, like, I think when I was younger, they would watch...
Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz,
yeah.
play
And Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, and take acid. This is exactly what this movie is for. Actually, I think there's going to be an occult following later.
Yeah,
where
I could see it.
people do something like that with this movie.
I mean, I could say this would be a trippy movie if you were on some sort of like
Anything.
psychotropic or
Any kind of
hallucinogenic thing.
enhancement, Yeah.
But so I had to know. Normally we don't do this and normally we don't talk about this, and I'll try not to spend a lot of time, but like I had to know a little bit more. So I just did some very brief digging, not like a comprehensive thing. And so the mother is supposed to be a witch named Morgana.
Which they actually,
do
I don't know
hint
if you, they actually said his mother's a witch, but
Right.
it was like so brief, and so I think this movie made a couple cardinal sins. One of them is it had poor audio.
Yes.
And you can overcome a lot of things in a movie, but poor audio, not being able to understand what people are saying, this movie had a lot of that.
Poor dialogue audio. And additionally,
Poor dialogue audio. You're correct. I apologize.
I love you could even say, so I loved this, so that you get kind of headings throughout the film. They title it almost as if they're chapters.
The headings is also the thing. that
Can't
I had a problem
fucking
with.
read 'em.
I couldn't read them, exactly, because they're written in some kind of old school.
Wait, it's like I got most of them, but like one of them, it's like the beheading at the Green Chapel, and I looked at the word beheading for the entire time it was on the screen, and I had to like piece together what the hell was on the screen.
There was a couple of them.
There's a few
where
I don't
didn't
know.
what they.
I still
what they
don't
said.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the two things that I also had problems with.
Yeah, I feel like this movie's big failure is just a lack of exposition. You know, I'm fine with wanting to be artsy and wanting to have things be ambiguous and vague and leave things open to the viewer in such a way where it's very thought-provoking. But I feel like, unfortunately, this one just came like a pretty significant chunk too short in the exposition, wherein I was not... while curious because I just wanted to know, I was left with so little information to try to piece things together that I was just confused.
This movie really could have benefited from like a self-reflective voiceover or any number of things.
Yeah.
Could have made this movie better because there's not enough backstory, not enough story, not enough dialogue, not enough information. Not enough connecting the dots.
Yeah.
It just was missing all the things that you want in a movie, but it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably like a really good summation. I'll say for like after doing some reading thereafter, I do think that there's a lot of interesting like symbolism and things to unpack in terms of looking, you know, what he sees and how he goes about. And I will tell you, I almost want us to tell the ending because like it doesn't even matter. I'm going to recommend you don't see the movie. So
Yeah, I'm going to recommend likewise that you don't see the movie unless you are hammered, it's free, you have nothing else to do.
or you're an
and you
English
wanna
major
waste-
and you love this stuff.
Exactly. If you want to deep dive into this movie, hey, first off, I applaud you for taking this on because this movie was difficult to get through.
So I'm going to go ahead and chip at it then. So it, you know, without going through all the many things that happen, he goes on this tale, and it does kind of seem like a knight's quest, where he's not a knight. He's kind of this like
He's making his own
douchebag
legend.
little kid, but he's going through and he's having these adventures, and he goes and experiences some pretty crazy things. He interacts with spirits, giants, a talking fox.
He gets robbed, nearly killed.
Right. But man, did it just not deliver. And like the fact that I had to go and like read quite a bit just to like unpack some of that was, I don't know.
I would have much
Ruined
rather
it.
spent my time reading a dictionary. I would think I would have
I agree with
come
you.
way better for doing that than watching this movie.
I agree with you that had it just been a silent film, I think I actually like would have appreciated it more because of the fact that it's not just like you had a chance to make this interesting and you didn't, but like man, it is really pretty. That's it. I got
That
nothing
was
more.
a bonus film. Let's just get down to grading this one.
Sure. I don't even know.
I'm gonna give this movie a 3. I actually want to give it a 1, but it just looks so good
Yeah.
that the rest of the movie just isn't good enough to bring it. I mean, the movie looks so good. That's the only reason why I'm giving it a 3. Otherwise, I would give it a 0 or 1. But the movie looked good. That's the only plus side to this movie. Don't see this movie
Yeah.
at all.
Unless you're on
We
the
could've-
aforementioned psychedelics.
We could have watched 2 other movies.
We offered Jungle Cruise,
fucking
Stillwater. These are probably
We
coming
should
to you
have
at a
seen
later
these
date.
movies.
They probably.
I mean, it's nice whenever we see a movie that really,
It was different.
yeah, that's one way of putting it. This movie was different. Okay.
All right.
Your score. I don't want to go on anymore.
Yeah, I agree with Jeremy. Look, it's cinematically beautiful. There were a lot of cool things. We've talked about it. I want to like this movie more than I think I do, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm trying to make excuses for it. And at the end of the day, it's a shortcoming of the director. I think that the acting was actually quite good for the script that they had, but sorry, David Lowery, you kind of fucked up. This was, although cinematically beautiful, and you had like this kind of interesting ambiguity to it, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to solve the mystery. There's just not enough information for me to do so, and that is a shortcoming of a director, and a pretty bad one at that. I think that if you know more about this movie, there's things to be enjoyed and kind of unpack some of the things that I did thereafter. But taking the movie as like a normal viewer, I'm gonna agree with Jeremy. It's a 3. And I think that's even being, like he said, a little bit generous. And it's solely based on the fact that I love some sort of mystery and I wanted to know more, and then that it's beautiful. So don't watch this movie. It's 2.5, unless you got 2.5 hours of your life that you were like, man, I got nothing better to do.
Willing to get rid of? I don't know.
Yeah,
I would rather clean a bathroom.
be more productive.
I would be.
I don't know. I don't know what to take away from
I'd
this.
rather pull weeds
Yeah,
at someone else's house.
yeah. There's.
Not even my own house. Not that I have a yard that I can pull weeds in. I live in the city, so there's.
Yeah. Well,
You guys heard it here on the Movie Bros. Do not go see The Green Knight. Don't
yeah.
waste your time.
I think we should even. Yeah.
Us introducing ourselves and saying don't see the movie, and us concluding the movie review. That's about it.
All right, guys. Well, we're excited to bring you more things. A lot of cool things are coming out in theaters. It's great to be back. It's kind of shitty that COVID's ramping back up, but we're gonna keep trying to do these movie reviews for you. I'm excited to see Jungle Cruise. I think it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
Stillwater, I've heard some early Oscar things about, and there's a lot of great other movies coming out this year. So continue to watch the channel. Please like and subscribe. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps us, encourage us to produce more content. If you're enjoying it, we enjoy it more as well.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Movie Bros out. God.